Yo, 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 it's another beautiful day, and you know what that means. It's time for Marcus in the Man Cave with your boy Marcus, my beautiful, amazing co-host, Mr. Nell Mayfield. How you doing?
I am wonderful. Hello, people. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It's been a long week, it feels like already. And we got the husband of Miss Janelle Mayfield, Mr. Mayfield, Mr. Trey. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on? What's up, y'all?
Appreciate you being here. Definitely appreciate you being here. Man, these days have felt long, and we still got 4 years to go. Like these days have felt abnormally long. So I guess we can start off. Y'all can tell us what y'all did with y'all weekend, since y'all should have been together, right? So what y'all do?
What we do, Trevor?
We went to Charlotte. Let me give a second on that. We went to Charlotte. Did a few things. We went sightseeing, basically scouting the area. We are thinking about potentially moving to Charlotte area. So we're looking
Okay.
at different neighborhoods, areas around the city, and then we capped that off with seeing the Hornets versus Lakers. Seeing LeBron,
Nice.
little man's first game.
He was.
Janelle's first time seeing Braun.
That's crazy. So let's just think about that for a second. When LeBron first started playing, what grade were you in?
Eighth, ninth.
Well,
No.
but she's from Ohio, so I'll maybe ask her. She
I mean,
experienced
but I
LeBron
was
He
very.
started in 2003. I
Right.
was in the
I was
I
going.
think
So yeah, eighth grade.
I was in the fifth
I was
grade.
13.
I was in
Eighth grade.
elementary school, and it's crazy to think that your son
My son
is watching the same man that we were watching
yelling
in
at him, telling
grade
him
school
what to do.
With a LeBron jersey on.
with
An
a
Irish
LeBron jersey on.
jersey. It was an Irish jersey.
Like, say what you want to say about that man, but the longevity and
Come
the
on
way
now.
that man has kept himself up is legendary. You
And the
can't
way
say,
he's playing.
yeah, the man. But we'll talk about basketball players and the way they're playing in a few minutes. But no, I had a decent weekend. I didn't do too much. Hung out with some people, and then hung out with my dog. Me and my dog just hung
Oh,
around. Like we just took the time to just decompress and did a little training with him. And he's on a diet. He's overweight, so y'all pray for him as the Lord has seen fit to cut back his meals.
You getting those walks in over the
He
weekend?
getting some walks in. He's overweight by 7 pounds. He doesn't look like he's carrying it well. But they've put him on 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the evening now. And man, when I poured that first cup, brother looked at me like, you better come up out that food. Like,
where's the rest?
yeah, he's very irritable right now. So we're gonna pray for young Regal as he goes through this transition. And I'm trying to eat less to help him. But
I get it.
We in this together.
yeah, we in this together. But man, he made me real mad. I made a fresh pizza this weekend, and I know he's struggling because he's a good dog. He usually, like, when I'm eating, he started begging because he learned it from another dog. But he sits beside me as I eat. He'll just sit there, stare off into the distance or whatever. But not this time. I'm sitting watching the Eagles game. As I bring the pizza toward my mouth, this man took an opportunistic and just licked the whole side of the pizza as it was coming. The whole side of it.
I would have had to.
He was so close to going back. He was so close to going back. Like, I was like, bruh, you. And then I had to think about it. I was like, you just hungry. And I understand. Like, but,
Right.
He's starving.
yeah. But
So you know what? It's yours.
yeah. Speaking of something being yours, it is your time to gloat, Trev. Your team is going to the Super Bowl. The Eagles unfortunately won again. I mean, actually, I didn't really care because both of y'all were division rivals for me, so it really didn't matter.
Right.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Roost across the room. Yeah, absolutely.
What's the question?
Outside of you being a Cowboys fan, I feel like folks hate the Eagles. Tell me why.
You're right, Lou. I hate the Eagles because of your fan base. I think y'all do the most. The way y'all act at your stadium and the videos that have come out of there with the way y'all treat people, and it's just ridiculous. Like, if a city has to grease its poles to keep y'all off them, y'all doing too much. Y'all just doing too much. And I that's the only reason I don't like them. Now, the city of Philly, I love the city of Philly. Like, potentially a place.
Do you feel like it gives DC vibes, but it's not DC?
Yeah, I feel like it's. I feel like it's not as chocolatey as DC, but if you know where the pockets are, you'll have just as much fun. Like that's what I feel about Philly.
It's like DC adjacent, kind of.
Yeah,
But I
it's
just wanted to
DC
know.
without the ingrained culture. Like it doesn't have the go-go. It doesn't have the like. It doesn't have the mambo sauce. It doesn't have those things. That's what I feel like Philly is. It's Philly. It's DC stripped down without all of the best things of DC. That's what I feel.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, it's still fun. It's still you still find places to go, but
It's like gentrified DC.
Yeah, it's gentrified, but black people are there and they having fun. But it's just not the fun that you will have in DC, like walking down the street and hearing people just playing go-go or just running into some. You don't get that.
Think about the go-go music not playing outside the Nextel.
Yeah. But that was like my first experience being at Howard, was going to get a haircut and walking past that and being like, yo, this is crazy.
That music loud as fuck.
Yeah, I was like, man, it just and it went on forever. I was like, they don't ever turn this off, do they? Like, I was like, this is crazy. Like, who's paying?
At some point, it wasn't even loud anymore.
I was like, who's paying the bill? Like, this is real crazy that they just like, that's crazy. But no, that's how I feel about Philly. But so I would like to see Saquon Barkley get a ring. I would like to see that. I don't care about Justin Fields. I feel like he's just an overrated version of. I mean, not Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts. I feel like Jalen Hurts is an overrated Justin Fields. I feel like they're the same player, just one got drafted to the wrong team. No,
I think he's a better version of him, but yeah,
I think he's only better because he has 2 number 1 wide receivers.
But Justin Fields can't throw.
I don't believe that. I think he hasn't been coached well.
Well, the Steelers are going to keep him over Russ. Russ is gone.
Oh, look, Russ is rusty. Like, it's time to hang it up. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's had a great career. But it's just time to. He was the limiting factor for them in the playoffs. Like, Justin Fields could have done some stuff with his legs and stuff that I think would have propelled that team a little bit further. But I think they just don't trust him having to throw in situations.
You know what happened to Russ? He became a dad.
Multiple times.
He's slow. He's not who he used to be.
He tasted
just
that
like a dad back there.
He tasted that sweet Sierra, and boy, he can't get a ball.
And it worked out in his favor because Sierra is ripe. Okay, she got thick after having them babies
at the right time.
Listen, perfection.
That's why this man be getting sacked on the field.
Honestly, I don't even understand how she gets anywhere near.
What if that?
I don't understand how she gets super hydrated down there because of him. Because he literally makes.
What if he comes home? What if he comes home and he's a completely super different person? What if he's a completely different?
Dude? Trevor showed me. I don't know. It would
Broncos country. Let's ride. Like, what if he come home and he's different?
It was a different one, but yeah.
But he was like, "Hey guys, I know you love when I have." I was like,
"Nah." I feel like he come home and he an animal.
No, that's what I'm saying. I told you, Trevor. This is my whole theory as well. I feel like Sierra turns him into a Negro. Like, it just turns on his black side, and he just pounces on her. You said what?
He's put a do-rag on when he gets home.
Yes, he becomes Russell. Okay, Russell.
He's still wearing next
era. He's still Carl.
He is very corny, but when he's with her, it's different.
Clearly, I feel like though it's a security thing
she's
too.
Ever looked.
I feel like it's a security thing. When you know you don't got to stress about your man cheating and doing all that kind of stuff.
Come on now.
I feel like that can get you super hydrated. When you ain't got to worry about, hey, you gonna do me right, or you gonna see your child, or you gonna do that kind of stuff. Like, it's security. Security is an attractive thing when you ain't got to worry about that kind of stuff.
And he only has $200 million. Don't worry about that.
She got money too, though. Don't make it.
She ain't got that much. I mean, come on now.
The NFL. There's a reason why Taylor Swift is on the NFL every week.
Does Travis Kelce have more money than Taylor Swift? No,
but Taylor Swift wants that NFL money.
What do you mean? You think she wants to be the next Leanne? Who does the Carrie Underwood? Whatever you think she wants to take?
She doesn't have to do that. She's got to show up.
When I tell you, I want her to accidentally slip down this.
I feel like we've seen what happens when you leave a woman that really makes you better and you just go with the popular thing. Because Travis, when he was with old girl,
Forrest Gump.
He looks like he aging like
awfully.
And
But
he
you
was
know what?
not that great this season either.
But that also means to me that like you're fake. No one knows who you really are. If you have to switch up 1 minute you're this way, the 1 minute you're that way because you're dating someone.
I guess.
I feel like he says the N word.
Was him being black the switch up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was more of the switch up. I think this is who he really is, but he was just trying to say something new.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you just play. I don't know. People that do that
It
are
was
weird.
like the warden from
Well,
what was the Nelly movie when I'm playing football?
Longest yard.
Yep.
You're right. You're right. Well, speaking of people playing in our face, we got to get down to the topics. Multiple companies have started playing in our face when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity and inclusion programs in their policies for their stores. And this has been a push. If you guys weren't paying attention to 2025, Project 2025, like I told y'all, this was one of the major things. Now, we sat up here and let this man say, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I don't even know who wrote it, when half the people that wrote it were in his cabinet. Obviously, this man knew about it because everything that has been in that policy has been starting to come forward. Whether it's federal workers having to go back to work, like no more teleworking, no more like work from home. Rolling back aid programs. Like yesterday, they tried to kill federal funding for a bunch of programs. Like people went hungry. People went hungry yesterday because the SNAP program was rolled back. EBT
well, put a pin in that.
Yeah,
put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that.
Because the people that are hungry ain't us.
I was gonna get there, but a lot of companies also rolled back. So I just want to read some of the companies that went back. So on January 10th. Amazon rolled back theirs. So this is even before the inauguration. So they're already knowing what to expect before he came in, and they preemptively did this. Amazon on the 10th, the FBI rolled back theirs on the 17th.
They had one?
Yeah, I know, right? Meta.
FBI was always hiring, like anyone.
I mean, they started off being a very racist entity.
Have they changed?
Meta on January 10th. Yeah. Meta on January 10th.
Mark Zuckerberg doing that in a black tee with that gold chain and that curly hair really sends me.
McDonald's on January 6th. Now, people laugh at that one, but McDonald's is a huge employer.
It is. But, well.
Most of their employees. Anyway.
Most of their employees are getting deported. Let's be clear.
I thought white people didn't want to work at McDonald's.
Walmart. Now, Walmart rolled theirs back 25 November of 24. Mm-hmm. So a whole 2 months before, like after Election Day, they were just like, all right, cool. Roll it back. Like Walmart rolled theirs back. Jack Daniels rolled theirs back as well. Now, if you're not drinking Uncle Nearest already, something's wrong with you. You should have been drinking Uncle Nearest by now.
I love the growth of that brand. It's beautiful.
So switch to Uncle Nearest, black owned, and they're the ones that created Jack Daniels anyway. And then Boeing, a company that can't afford any bad press right now.
They kill people all the time.
They rolled theirs back on 1 November of 20. So before Election Day, they rolled theirs back. So there's this thing called the National Center for Public Policy and Research Conservatives. It's a think tank, and it's a huge conservative think tank. And they basically have been lobbying these companies to do this, knowing that Trump was coming in. Now, they're mentioned hella times in Project 2025. So I want to read two notable companies that pushed back against this. One of my favorites, Costco. Costco pushed back against it immediately and said, and I quote, "It believes its commitment to an enterprise rooted in respect and inclusion is appropriate and necessary." And 98% of their stockholders voted to keep it. Mm-hmm. So
they also switched to Coca-Cola products. It's giving black freedom.
Yep. So they switched Pepsi. They switched from Pepsi. I like Pepsi better than Coke.
But I choose Coca-Cola. But if I have
Coke products are better, but I like Pepsi more than Coke. Oh,
it's sugary. Give me that crack.
Coke tastes flat, man. It's so flat to me. And the other one is, and I hate to say this because y'all know how I feel. Apple.
No, they did. They rescinded it, and then they came out and you're right.
Apple's down. Apple basically encouraged the same with their stockholders to basically fight back against it. And apparently, Tim Cook got heated in a conversation. So one of the members from that think tank came, basically interrupted one of his staff meetings and was like, you guys should roll this back. You know, basically Trump's going to be in presidency. These are things that are going to help build the economy, help the country. And this was Tim Cook's response, quoted, "If you want me to do things just for a return on investment, you need to get the hell up out this stock."
So especially knowing like that would mean majority of the employees would be
of the tech employees.
Like they specifically hire
people
with the, like, I've working there was one of the most crazy, but also enriching 5 years of my life, because they are very intentional with who they hire, and they give everyone a chance.
So 3 things before I let you guys have a word on it. I just want to get this all out. Travel wise, Delta and Southwest are also standing firm with their DEI policies. Delta basically, first of all, they in Atlanta. They better not. They better not. They know better. And then Southwest is also saying that they're committed to continuing their DEI programs, and they just won't participate in any more of the surveys because they're going to be run by this group, and they're like, we're just not going to participate. So I don't know if their numbers will keep coming out, but they just said they're not participating in the surveys anymore. So I got all of this from Forbes. This is all from Forbes. But the one that was most disappointing was that on the 24th of January, Target said they were going to roll back their DEI platform. Now, I know we love some Target. We love Target. The ladies especially. I'm not that big on Target, but it is what it is. I understand it. They're rolling back their stuff, and it's created a problem where a lot of Black people want to pull back from Target, want to boycott Target, but we have a lot of Black business owners who sell their products through Target, and Tabitha Brown being one of the most notable. And she came out saying that basically not buying the product hurts them and doesn't really hurt Target as much. It hurts them and small businesses who are trying to thrive. And my only problem with this is that Tabitha has made a lot of money. And I'm not saying that I don't support her making a lot of money. I do. But at what point, my question for the chat, my question for you guys, at what point are we going to say the culture is more important than money right now? What is happening to us, what could be happening to us, is more important than the dollars. And I'll start with you, Janelle, because your face made it into my target this week. So proud of you for that. But with that, how do you feel, one, with your face being in Target right now? And then how do you feel about Tabitha's comments, and what do you think we should do?
First, I want to say that when it comes to the culture, I believe that there's enough of us, and we have the intelligence and tools to be able to balance and know that there are some people who aren't going to fall in line and boycott. Like, that may not be their ministry. They may uphold the culture in different ways. So instead of getting mad at each other and be like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, like, this is a time to unite. But as far as Target specifically, it did hurt because I love Target. I met that man right there in Target. And yes, my face is in Target. Granted, I have no connection to Target with that campaign. It's just with Clean Skin Club. But when I walked in the store, like, we went to Target in Charlotte, and I saw my face, I was extremely proud of myself. But also, it's like, I feel conflicted. I do plan on scaling back how much I purchase Target specific goods. I do want to be strategic in what I buy. I do want to support Black owned businesses. And I do understand from a business side, a lot of Black businesses, people don't buy stuff from their website. They don't want to wait forever to get the product. Like, once their stuff is in store, that's when they see a boom of sales. So I understand that. Do I think Tabitha was the best messenger? No. Do I think the message made sense? Yes. But again, like you said, it's not really hurting her, but there are brands who will be hurt if we don't buy. On the other side of that, I remember a time where there were no Black brands in Target and there was no uproar. Like, no one was saying anything about the fact that there were no Black brands in Target. But now, ages later, now that they're like rolling it back and we see it all over social media, we seem to be very loud about it, which is fine. but I just want us to keep this energy. It can't just be like it's trendy to be pissed off right now. And in 4 years, once they're gone, we're not pissed off no more. Like, we need to be consistent. We need to be strategic, and we need to be unified. No one has time for like this BS. We cannot argue about everything, but yeah.
And to your point, before I go to Trev, it's just funny that we're talking about all of these boycotts and all these things on platforms that also rolled back their DEI
That's
programs.
another thing.
So
Like,
it's like
conflicting. Like,
where do you go? Like, how do we operate in today's
Target
world?
is 5 minutes from my house. Do you think I'm going to take the extra however long to go find? Especially in this area, ain't no black on.
And Lula asked you which Target, Midtown. She asked you Midtown, or I don't know if you would know the area you were in. So
Trevor.
It's over by UNC Charlotte. So I think that's like the east.
Was there like a parking deck and parking garage to it? No? Okay.
It was next to a place where like kids can go jump because we took Zaire.
Oh. Also, when y'all go to Charlotte, don't go to this restaurant called Leroy Fox. It's trash.
We went to Uptown Yoke. It was black owned. It was great.
Okay. See,
you
that
should
need to do that. Okay. Next time
it's really good. Vibes. Okay.
Vibes. Trevor, your feelings on that matter?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like a lot of these companies are confused and don't know what to do. Because I think the government is putting out a mandate executive order to say, hey, do this. And I think a lot of these companies don't want to find out what the consequence is for not doing that. So some companies are pushing back. Some companies are saying we're not going to do this. But you have to think about it. DEI was installed off of a federal mandate as well. So the reason that we're in this boat, the government told them to do it, and now the government's telling them to undo it. And I don't think any of these companies are really taking it literally, but I think they're saying, okay, we'll undo our DEI department or whatever you guys are telling us to do, but we still gonna run this ship the way that we want to run it. And commending companies like Costco and all of that are saying we're going to push back because you don't know what's going to happen to them. You don't know if they're going to lose funding, tariffs. You never know. You honestly never know. But to Tabitha, I thought her message made sense. She probably has a contract with Target. She says, hey, I came to the table. I wanted to do business with you. Now that I'm doing business, I want to pull out. It doesn't really work like that. The consumer probably doesn't see that, but she knows me and Target are tied at this point. Like, I'm a big, she's a big brand. They're a big brand. They're tied together. But one thing she didn't do in her message is offer a solution.
Bam.
She didn't say.
And that's where we're missing. We're missing solutions. Yes.
And
that's.
Go ahead.
What she did say is, if you stop going there, it's going to hurt us. But she didn't say, I'm going to meet you where you are. You don't want to go to Target, but I can give you this link and we can order it.
Well, also remember, she's in Ulta Beauty as well.
Else.
Yeah.
She's not just in Target.
She's not just in Target.
But
she could have provided a solution as quickly as she provided the issue or the problem.
Yeah.
Right. But I think a lot of people look at her and think of hair. I think people are forgetting she has literally Tabitha Brown products, and she's actually really far removed from Donna's recipe. She has her own products in there that are really, really cute. Actually, I have one right here, $10. And if you know Tabitha funds everything from her own pockets. She has no investors. She gets no funding. Like she won't do it. So I understand what she was saying, but like, I agree.
I think for me,
is the solution?
For me, what's disappointing is that Target was one of the first places that gave Black people a space in the corporate, like, shopping retail world, where we saw Black books getting their own stuff put out, or Black clothing, like Black History Month, putting out specific clothing for Black. Like, I had not seen that before, like going into a store.
Not specifically. Never.
Yeah, and you just see a specific section, like, for the culture section.
Yeah.
Like, and it was beautiful.
Like, young students to be like.
And the pressure, they rolled back the the LGBT stuff. They rolled that back because they got a lot of pushback, and now they're rolling this back. And so it's just my warning to people is, if it's happening to us, you're next. Like, your stuff is next.
They're on the list.
Like, don't think that this is gonna not affect you.
They want to get rid of Women's History Month. They want to get rid of Native American, any type of recognition, Southeast, the Pacific Asian island, all of that. They want to get rid of it all. And I'm just sitting here thinking, y'all swore for whatever reason everything is connected to the Negras, and it's not.
Today, the press secretary said that she was asked specifically about Black History Month, and then she said that the White House is committed to celebrating American history, regardless of race. And then she added, "America's back" at the end. And I had a problem with that statement. What you got?
No, go ahead. Finish.
I said I have a problem with that.
One more thing before we moved on.
Yeah, no. Oh, you got it. I just said I inherently have a problem with that statement that America is back, because it makes me ask, back to what? What are we back to? Oh, we're back to constantly denying the accomplishments and achievements of African Americans, who this country was built on, the children and descendants of slaves that you worked to build the colonial economy, while you decided that you wanted to fight for freedom from a country that was taxing you for a war you started. Like, if we really want to be serious about history, like, Britain wasn't wrong for taxing the colonists. They weren't. They incurred a debt, and Britain was like, it's time to pay, because we had to ship all these people to fight your war.
For you, they don't want to be accountable for anything.
So you had taxation without representation, and that's how we teach it in school. Taxation without representation. Yes, you didn't have the representation, but you weren't being taxed for no reason. Like, stop making it like they were just arbitrarily throwing taxes at y'all. No, y'all had debt because your boy George Washington decided to kill a French officer and started a war. Like,
you better know your history. You better be careful. You know they don't.
Literally. So that's my thing. Trevor, what did you have to add before we moved on?
No, I was going to add one thing about going back to Tabitha. I feel like tone is important, because watching the video in its entirety, it felt like she was telling people what to do, telling people where to spend their money.
That's what it felt like to me.
If you didn't stop going there, it's going to hurt her pockets. And to me, it kind of remember before the election, Obama went and talked to those black men, where it seemed like he was kind of trying to sun them, kind of being like, well, you know what y'all need to do, right?
Yeah.
And y'all ain't doing this, so what are y'all really doing? And it's like,
but I think that's an
very old school. And
yes,
very,
yes. And I feel like they
talk down to you and be.
It felt like your parent giving you a little scolding, like a little scolding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying when it's someone who this isn't actually going to. You're talking to people whose pockets are currently actually hurting, like people who are spending their dollars to just add more and more and more to your mountain of money, when half the time they don't even have it. Like, when I went to the Donna's Recipe event, and I have no problem saying this, then people online, they saw the prices of her stuff, and the prices of her hair care products are not expensive at all. And they said $15. Like, these are people who are really loyal to her. And that's why I kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm just like, telling people like, no, go buy the product is.
Yeah, it wasn't a smart move. Brian says they'll just the companies will just rename the departments to something else.
That's what we're doing at my job. They're literally, in case it hits the state level. I was in literally an hour with 75 people where they were strategically talking about how to make sure they can't come and interrupt our stuff. And that's unfortunately what it's going to be.
And that's why I'm saying turning out for these local elections are just as, if not more important than voting on the national level, because a president can push anything, but if they don't have the backing of Congress and state governments to enforce things, you can't do anything.
Can you say that again? Because that's what's really pissing me off. Everyone's getting so scared, and I'm just like, I understand, but this really lets me know y'all don't realize federal is not end all be all.
The federal government is just the umbrella.
Yeah.
It's supposed to catch everything, but the state and local level, who your governor is, who your county manager is, your township manager. Those things matter so much because when that stuff comes down from the federal, those are the entities that will push back or accept. Like right now, 20-something states,
22.
attorneys generals, 22 states, attorney generals have sued the federal government over the pause in federal loan, like the money that comes, federal funding that comes from the government for certain programs. Exactly. So Brian says too much money has been put into changes with the DEI programs to full reverse on a ship that has already sailed. Exactly. These companies aren't about losing profits. But my thing is your state and your local governments are the ones that are going to push back on these policies. And if you fail to vote for the ones that line up with your views, more than likely they're going to accept these policies. And now you're going to feel it at work because they're the ones that are going to set your state and local laws regarding these things. So like the whole, like that was with the abortion issue. Like if you didn't vote the people into your state, like that's why we're seeing a lot of reversals on those programs. So when I see that 30% of eligible adults in the United States did not vote in this election, and I feel like the loudest people are the ones that didn't
vote.
I just don't want it. I'm just sitting back and I'm just like,
and I understand like Democrats lost the election. More than half the country voted for that. But my thing is, he's going at everything just chopping.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're not doing nothing.
I'm not gonna like trim the fat. I'm gonna just chop.
Yeah. I feel like he's throwing stuff at the wall to see what will stick. What can he get away with?
As someone who works for the state, I see specific numbers of people who are under SNAP and WIC and EBT and stuff like that. And 79% of those people are single white mothers. And it really makes me realize that not only are the people who voted for him not able to read or comprehend, he can't read or comprehend. Like, I really feel like he just wants to undo everything that he thinks is connected to Black people because y'all marketed to us that like only Black people are on food stamps.
On
like,
EBT.
I even thought of that at one point in time. Like only Black women use WIC. Like that's what propaganda does. And I think in his mind, that's what he really does think. Like, oh, this is only for the.
There's a lot of people who think that. Like
it's pathetic because it's literally white women. They are Black people make up 7% of that. The government assistance, 7%. And the rest is...
I want to give a shout out real quick to Combat Chow, which is a Black-owned business that is in the chat right now, started by my friend Amira. Hopefully we can get you on the. It's dog food, so dog treats and dog foods, and my dog has been taste tester.
I love it. That is so dope. Why can't I see the comment?
If y'all go look Combat Chow, go follow them. They're Black owned and she makes really good treats. My dog loves them, like goes crazy. So he's been a taste tester for the brand so far. So
follow them.
So Brian says, did you all hear he wants to do away with voting for another president? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, there was a proposed amendment by somebody to allow him to serve a third term. I don't think that's gonna happen. That is when I'm confident.
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised
because I think they would be scared.
It hasn't been 10 days.
Yeah,
no, they're allowing him to do anything, and unless our forefathers get up off the grave and do something, because I know they flipping up and down, even though they was just as evil. But
I think they'll be scared of the fact that if you do that, then Obama can run a third term. Like so, like the fear that man, because. That's the Democrats' problem right now. The Democratic problem is Obama's still their most popular person, and he can't run again. So they have yet to find a successor to him, and that's been the problem. Everybody they picked has either been
because they don't listen.
Too much of a woman, or like that's crazy that's a problem.
You have the people telling you who we want. We wanted Elizabeth Warren. We wanted Bernie Sanders, and y'all just was like, you know what? We gonna pick.
Yeah,
Joseph, who looks like the guy from freaking Hannibal.
But I mean, then you can say about Joseph, but he did beat him. He did beat him.
The Hillary was
the problem is
because hold on, it was two white men. As long as it's white males, and that's really what it is. If there was a white male running against Trump this term, I bet you he wouldn't have made it.
You wanted Secretary? You talking about Condoleezza Rice to run?
But Hillary,
I don't even. Do candidates know she
no. Bernie won the Democratic nomination, and then they had some super delegates who the fuck are you, came in and voted for Hillary, and she was the refs. The super delegates were the refs. They were like,
and she was the Chiefs.
Can I tell y'all what my therapist said about? She has a whole theory on Hillary, and I thought it was phenomenal. Because I told her the last time I spoke with her that I was feeling kind of down about what's going on. Like, it's just heavy how somehow everything comes back to Black people. Like, we really don't ask or want to be in anyone's business, but somehow everything comes back to us, and it was weighing on me. And she had mentioned how in the white community, white women know that they're weak. And that's why they wouldn't vote even for Hillary, because if they know they're weak, why would they want one of themselves in office? They will always vote for. She says she's been in numerous workshops and things. Like, she's even spoken with white women, other therapists who have said, like, we know within our community, we're supposed to be like, the men are up here and we're down here. And women are not supposed to be the head of anything. So that's why often they're choosing to side with white men, because I'm just like, it's crazy to me, like how white women, I'm like, y'all are still a minority too. DEI was made for y'all, actually, if you want to look at it. Like, women's history, like the right to vote started with y'all. And now y'all are putting people in who want to undo all of that. Like, she had a really eye-opening conversation with me.
I think that's called like, it's called like daddy syndrome, or it's like something like where a lot of people be like, oh, he looks like he's qualified, so I'm going to trust that.
Brian said, not in my household. Brian's a white guy, but he's cool. He's
down. Clearly,
Brian's cool. Brian's
we're here for you.
That's my guy.
I really am trying to follow this.
We got to move on from the topic, but yeah, it's just crazy. So guard your hearts in this season, y'all, because
and also celebrate loud.
Yeah, but also
just because the White House, anyway, they don't need to be celebrating Black people anyway. I feel like it would be fake. Okay, we better celebrate it for real.
We got to move on to something that don't need to be celebrated, and that's Jimmy Butler. Man, it's been a while since I've been able to talk sports on here, but I got Trev here, so I got to take advantage of it. Jimmy Butler is about to go out sad, man.
To that.
What?
I would talk sports with you.
It's not the same as. You need to be like those other women. Not to play.
He said, "This is not DEI.
This is not DEI. It's called the man cave. It's called the man cave." No, but no. Jimmy Butler, man. So he's with the Heat, and if anybody knows, the Heat was run by Pat Riley, and Pat Riley is one of the greatest minds in basketball. Like one of the pioneers of the games that we have to. Brian said I'm sexist. You're right. I'm not just playing for us. I'm gonna get that sound bite, and it's like, oh. But no, Jimmy. Who was that? What was I saying? Pat Riley's one of the greatest minds of basketball. Got the Heat. He turned that franchise completely around. Him and Eric Spoelstra, championships. Felt like they could have won more with LeBron, some more championships with that if they had just played that right. But we know how that went. And Jimmy Butler was one of my favorite players because I felt like he was super skilled, and I felt like he wanted to get it from the dirt originally in his career. I was like, he's not going to join some super team. He wants to go make the people around him better and go win a championship. And that was always like my number one gripe with LeBron at the time was he makes people around him better, but he never formed the team on his own in Cleveland. I know he didn't have the front office to do it, but he never did it on his own. He ran to a super team to get those 2 rings. And then
it's cold.
Yeah, but it just felt, and the way he did it, I felt was just like super unprofessional. So seeing Jimmy do what he did, I was like, all right, let's see if Jimmy does it. Now he didn't have the greatest squads around him, and but he made some deep playoff pushes. But now we're at Jimmy Butler in 2025, and we got to talk about Jimmy Butler because so basically what he wants is right now he wants either to be traded or he wants his 2-year contract that he has. He has 2 years left through the 26th season, and he's getting paid $101.2 million. What he wants is for them to extend this contract to 3 years, $161 million. That's over $50 million. That's over $50 million a year. Now, Trevor, I'm gonna come to you with this. I'm gonna bounce on you. Let me just throw some stats.
I'm really excited for you guys to hear Trevor talk about basketball.
Because I feel like numbers don't lie. So let me give you some stats. Jimmy Butler is 35, about to turn 36. Now, LeBron has showed us that age is just a number, but LeBron is a different breed. He's not LeBron James. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of taxes in that money. Yeah, I understand, but that's still that's more money than you need. Jimmy Butler,
a lot of taxes in the 100 million.
Jimmy Butler stats for 2025. Now let's not talk about the 12 games he's missed, but let's talk about just the stats. His points per game, 17 points per game. There's people coming off the bench with that. 5.2 rebounds a game, 4.8 assists, field goals. He's shooting 54%. Okay. This is the man that wants a 3-year, $160 million contract with that. To me, you've missed 12 games. The best ability is availability, and you're not available. Plus, you've been suspended multiple times for conduct detrimental from the team to the team, and now you've been suspended indefinitely without pay. Now you at all these stores swiping your card like money ain't an issue to me, bro. You're losing millions per day. You're losing an average of $1 million a day just trying to get traded or something. Like, to me, it makes no sense. But the worst part to me is you on socials doing all this while your team is still having to play, and you're supposed to be the leader of that team. And your play, you're not playing, is hurting their pockets, because a lot of these players are on incentive contracts where they have to meet certain goals to get more money, to be paid more. And you're the guy who's supposed to be out there facilitating that. If you're not on the floor passing the ball, this person doesn't get the ball and doesn't pass it to make an assist to help his stats, to help him get paid. You're literally hurting other people's pockets trying to pad your own. And to me, if he was to get traded and I'm a team that's looking at acquiring him, I would not want him on my team. Because what's going to happen that's going to make you mad enough to quit on us when you don't get what you want? And now we come in here and you're supposed to help me win a championship? I don't know. We've seen players get big contracts like Steph Curry and LeBron, but you're not them. And they're 4-time champions. Like, and we saw what happened, to Thompson. Klay Thompson didn't get that because he's not them. Trev, what's your take on Jimmy Butler?
I feel like I'm basically aligned on how you feel. Number one, the age, but I just think about Jimmy Butler's past. He told the Bulls either pick D Rose or pick me. Then he got traded to the Timberwolves because they picked D Rose and not Jimmy Butler. And then he crashed out on practice, crashed out on Tibbs, crashed out on Karl Anthony Towns, Wiggins, saying that they're soft, they're ass, get me out of here. Okay, you're out of there. He goes to Philly, crashes out on Ben Simmons, his teammate. To me, he's the issue. Mm-hmm. The name on the front of the jersey is bigger than the name on the back. And all of these owners ain't going to deal with that. No one's going to deal with that. Jimmy, you're getting paid $100 million over the next 2 years. You're going to turn down $52 million next year. You're an idiot. You don't play. You talk shit about other teams saying, oh, we would have beat the Bucks if I would have played.
But you don't play.
Right.
You don't play. We would have beat the Celtics if I would have played. And honestly, if I was the Heat, I wouldn't even trade him.
I'd make him sit.
Him and just sit there. Don't even come to practice. Don't be around my team. Don't be around my players. We'll pay you. Stay home. We'll pay you to stay home. We'll do the Russell Wilson. We'll pay you to not be here. We'll pay you $50 million to not be
I'll
here.
take it.
It's just funny to me. He's acting like he's 2018 Jimmy Butler or something. It's like, bro, you have not put up those numbers in a long time. Like, you had a finals run and we saw how that went. Yeah, you can say you didn't have the squad, but you led them there. And to me, that was a benefit to your legacy that you did take that squad to the finals. But now looking at you, like, I feel like 55-year-old Jimmy Butler is going to look back at this moment and realize how much damage he did to himself.
Yeah.
Like, any goodwill to you. Like, first of all, the first thing that should send a light bulb off in your head is when Shaq is the only ex-player that agreed with you. Knowing that Shaq had a terrible relationship with Pat Riley. So the only person that is on your side is another person who Pat Riley put in his place. Because the same thing happened with Shaq in Miami. When Shaq was there in 2006, when it was time to renegotiate, Pat Riley told him the truth. He said, you can stay here, help us win another championship as a role player, or you can try to do something else. And Shaq was like, I'm Shaq. Like, I deserve this money. And Pat Riley said, you were Shaq.
Yep.
You were. That's your Miami days, I mean, your Orlando days and your LA days were your best days. We got you at the end to serve a single purpose, be a presence in the paint. That's it.
And not to say, so if Jimmy Butler were willing to take a Klay Thompson contract, a Klay Thompson role, he would get snapped up. Klay Thompson
by anybody,
said,
listen,
my knees hurt. I'm willing to just be out here.
Yeah. Like if he was to do that, there's so many teams like my Spurs would love a person like that. Like just want to be a role guy and be like help us get Wemby activated and we could win some games. The Spurs are losing games due to not being able to use Wemby effectively because we don't have the players around him to use him effectively. A player like Jimmy Butler could really help with that, but you got to be unselfish. And Jimmy's ego is going to be the death of his legacy. Like, and the thing is, you don't have a ring to put this on. You're in the same boat James Harden's in. Like y'all are aged superstars who right now really should be begging for any team that's in a contending role to take you.
James Harden gets.
I hate James Harden. I'll pay him $50 million over Jimmy Butler. I despise James Harden's existence at this point, and I would pay him over Jimmy Butler.
I don't understand Jimmy's why he's on social media swiping his card saying, I'm still paid. Bro, I don't know how you think you look smart losing money every day. Even if you paid and you good, you'll never have to work again. I get that, but if that's your attitude, leave the game of basketball.
Gilbert Arenas and Rashad McCants told him to shut up and play. And those are the two loudest people I can think of on the internet right now.
I mean, Charles Barkley, all of them. Charles Barkley was like, if we were getting paid the money these dudes were getting paid, and he was like, this is back when we played.
Lace up, just play.
Yeah, he said this was back in the year when we had to play all 82 games. There was no load management. There was no taking breaks.
But that's what I think it is. I think that outside of the money, I think the NBA needs to look at: are we giving our players too much freedom to like treat us any type of way?
But that's what happened.
I know it's the NBA, but like.
They negotiated with the Players Association, and the players got more power, which I do believe they did deserve a little bit more autonomy because they were being held down. But now they are crippling. The way he's acting. Yeah, they're crippling franchises. And LeBron can be guilty of that sometimes too. Yes, he can. Like he be getting the players that he want, and then it don't work out, and then the coaches are beholden to him. He's not
having a tantrum on social media.
I just think, it's for Jimmy. Like you look at like what Chuck said, he was like, my biggest contract was like $2.8 million.
But that was,
and I'm out there. It was a different time, but if you look at the viewership back then, the viewership was high. The NBA has lost 47% of its viewership already this season, and this is the reason people aren't watching because you got divas out here making $50 million a year. And you won't get out on the court while we out here struggling to buy eggs, and you think that you have a leg to stand on. Now, we're not struggling. I'm just saying.
We're not.
Speaking of
that, I'm gonna say one thing. The NBA CBA and the NFL CBA, these players get less than 50% of the revenue. Mm-hmm. So who's really the idiot here? There's 30 owners in the NBA making over half of the revenue of the NBA. So that's TV money. So if Jimmy's getting paid 50, that guy's getting paid 500 million. One person, one owner. I mean, I get that, and the player empowerment, I think, was brought along to like balance it more towards like baseball. But baseball doesn't have a salary cap. But those players can be like, Ohtani said, I'm going to have surgery, and I'm going to be a free agent, and y'all are going to pay me because I'm Ohtani. But there's no salary cap. So I guess it's different. Yeah, because players can say,
but he was also
give me
smart.
$500 million or else.
He was also smart to defer his payments too. He's not going to get any of his payments until 10 years. So his joints are going to be tax free. Like his joints going to be tax free, and a lot of his is tied up in endorsements. And then the Dodgers just signed this other dude from Japan that's supposedly a beast. So no one's beating the Dodgers, apparently.
So
No.
I think that NBA and NFL players need to give the owners less money. If they can get to below 50%, yeah, y'all can get paid whatever y'all want to play, whatever y'all want to get paid. But your ass better strap up, Jimmy Butler. You better put some shoes on and get on the court. Like LeBron, we just watched LeBron play, and he's out there like not burning energy, passing the ball, getting rebounds, getting his shots. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. I don't know. Jimmy, I feel like Jimmy, just retire. Just get out. If this is your attitude toward the game that is giving you these blessings, giving you this money, allowed you to do this, if this is your attitude, get out. Just go. Because this is shameful. Like, you signed a contract. None of us can get out of a contract we've signed. Like, unless they do something terrible and break that contract, you stay in. So do your job. Like, just do your job. But shout out to Russell Westbrook for having a whole new life out there in Denver. Love to see that.
I love Russell.
The WNBA is more exciting these days. It is. I mean, they stepping up the competition. The only thing I wish the WNBA would do, and I know people hate it,
is give Candace Parker a new wardrobe.
Yeah, she be looking crazy on the shows. But no, mine was lower the rim. Lower the rim. Lower that rim to 8.5 feet. Let these women dunk. If you start throwing alleys,
talk about them in the comments and make them feel.
No, I want to see alleys.
Men talk about women is crazy as much as they try to be in our vaginas. I don't understand.
I'm just saying, I want to see these girls throwing up alleys too. I want to see what they can do. And it's not a knock on y'all to lower the rim to do that. It's just like the ball is already smaller. You play with a smaller basketball. Like, we don't make like, so you already have some things that are different. Just lower the rim just a little bit. Whatever. But yeah, I want to see Ace. I want to see what's her name? Aja Wilson. I want to see her dunk. And fold me up like a lawn chair. But no, I just play. But all right. So last thing we want to talk about tonight. Yeah. Last thing we're gonna talk about tonight is a serious thing. We got to talk about these deportations because
is it serious? Sorry.
It's getting real. I just want to
so long.
A lot of people feel a lot of different ways about deportations and that, you know, illegal immigration period. I just find it very hypocritical that we're a nation that was founded by immigration and we just seem to have such a problem with it. My problem is that we espouse these
come on, words. That's it.
These high values and saying this is a land, you know, of freedom and opportunity, and give us your huddled masses, your bodies yearning to be free. Yet we watch somebody cross a whole desert to try to get here and then say, no, come in the right way. Like, what do you want? Like, at this point, what do you, that's the kind of person I want to be living beside, because obviously they value something strongly enough that they put themselves in danger to get here. Like, that person is going to work. And they're going to do a lot of stuff. Now, yes, do bad people slip through the cracks? Yeah, but we have people shoot up schools here all the time.
Wait, have y'all ever watched I Am a Killer?
That are American citizens. Like, you got people living right next to you, like that do this stuff. Like, so what are we talking about? They're not the school shooters. They're not these people. So let's deal with our own problems before we decide that other countries have them first. Is my issue.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to change the subject. Speaking of school shoot, did you hear about the school shooting that just happened in Florida?
Today?
No, this was over the weekend. 17
dead. Yeah, 17.
Nobody talk. That's what scares me.
We're not talking about it because we've normalized it. It's something we just gotta live with. But let me give y'all some stats. Per Newsweek, if the current rates of deportations continue, there's also obviously been a surge in this first week. There's been a lot of ICE raids going on. If the current rate of deportation continues, for one, it will take 28 years. 28 years to repatriate 11 million people that we assume to be here. 28 years. I don't know about y'all, but in 28 years, I hope to be chilling with my grandkids, like pushing a swing set.
You want to have grandkids in your 50s?
I'll be 60 something in 28 years.
Oh yeah, you sure?
We'll be doing Marcus in the nursing home by then.
I'm 35. In 28 years, I'll be 63.
Yes. You gonna have grandkids.
How old is my mom?
How old is Zaire right now?
5.
28 years from now, he'll be 30. What? 33. The boy go.
Maybe.
If he decides to, you'll be a grandma, Granny Nail. Granny Nail.
That doesn't even sound.
But so it takes 28 years to repatriate 11 million. I can't even. It's like anyway. Currently, Congress, which is run by the Republican side right now, is going to ask for $86 billion to fund this.
From who?
Well, from us. And that's what I was going to say. So now we have ICE going into schools, and they said also churches are now off limits per the law. Churches are now not off limits.
Yep.
Now, we care about this so much that we are willing to traumatize our own children, watching them yank kids or yank faculty members out of these schools and have no idea what this is going to do to their psyche. Like, to me, it's barbaric and it's unchristian.
You saw the Quakers are suing them, saying that the immigration somehow impacts their relationship with God. Like, they have this whole thing.
Oh, Quakers have always been that way.
Listen, hold down the Quaker. I'm from Ohio, okay? It's a lot of Quaker land up there.
Is Elon on that list? Let's not even talk about him. That's a conversation for a whole show in itself. And I hate that I have a Tesla now. Like, I didn't think he was gonna get this bad.
And also, well, I'll wait till you come to me for my opinion.
But here's my last one. Per the Peterson Institute for International Economics, and they study like economics through all the world on various factors. It shows that if the 8.3 million immigrants that they calculate that are here, illegal immigrants that are here, were deported from the United States, the GDP of the United States would lower by 7.4%. And employment would be lowered. And not just employment by them. This is employment for actual Americans, because these jobs, the jobs they do, support the jobs that we do, would lower by 7% by 2028. So we're already at 3.9%. So we'd have an unemployment rate of 10.3%. We'd also lose a significant money in tax revenue because they provide about $321 billion annually to the economy. So, Janelle, Brian says he can't wait for your opinion. So please give it.
So first I'm going to say this. Majority of me, about 95% of me, does not give a hot damn about these people being deported. Because majority of them voted for their own deportation. Do I want children to be traumatized? Absolutely not. Granted, y'all been traumatizing our children since y'all brought us over here. You won't stop. You shoot their family in front of them, but we don't have to compare. I am very much more settled with the fact that everything that is happening is exactly what America voted for. So if our GDP, whatever the hell that is, goes down, if we can't get no strawberries, well, I'm gonna have to figure something out because my son can't not have strawberries. It can't happen. But we are a very spoiled nation. As much as people say they don't want immigrants are the ones that do all the things that the average American would not do. And this nation was formed by people who don't want to do basic everyday things. They want someone else to do it for them. So I just feel like, go ahead, take them out and y'all live, because we know how to survive. We know how. Like, we'll figure it out. They just they'll have to figure it out on their own. I honestly just don't really give a damn, because like I said, the majority voted. This wasn't like the electoral college came and screwed us over like normal. The people said this is what we want. So please eat there and sit there and eat your vegetables. And I hope it's good for you. That's how I feel.
Okay. Trevor?
Yeah. For me, I think kind of like what Janelle said, like I kind of don't have a bone to pick in this fight. But at the same time, I think there's a better way to do this, because yes, they're technically citizens of another country, and that's the whole basis that they're going off of. But as we know, a lot of federal systems aren't working the way they're supposed to. So, in order for some of these people to get documentation and to get citizenship, there's backlogs, there's people not filling application, not doing their job on the federal side to push this along so people can save themselves and save their families from going to the poor situations that they try to escape in the first place. Because, I mean, think about it. Go back 150 years, the immigration from Europe was the biggest immigration we ever saw. And we opened up our ports and said, bring your poor, bring your hungry. But
right, and that's why
all of a sudden, it seems like when the shade is of America
if the shade
gets
is
threatened, then it's not okay anymore. Because to me, it's more about they don't want people of maybe brown color, skin tone, or whatever to come over, but folks from other countries are able to get citizenship and come into the country. And my second point to that is America has become super lazy. We import everything. None of us are skilled. None of us know how to make a boot. None of us know how to make a car. None of us know how to provide for ourselves. And we thought the power of the dollar would be able to sustain us. And we're at a point where if they do put in tariffs, you're going to be driving a Ford. You're going to be buying some Walmart clothes. You're not going to be wearing no European, Asian, Korean, nothing. You're going to have everything American. And to me, I kind of see a value in that because if anything were to happen, trade wars, our borders were to close, somebody chooses not to trade with us, we're going to be either naked, not having no cars. We have no skills. And we aren't willing to do those landscaping, skilled jobs that immigrants currently do for us. So I think if you want to just yank everybody out, there's going to be a gap. We're not going to have a lot of our workforce, and it's jobs that people aren't willing to do. We aren't even willing to work at Walmart. We aren't willing to do this, that, or the third. And there are people that are willing to do it for $1.
Yeah, sadly.
So last thing I do want to say, because I want to be fair to our Hispanic voters and this is from unidosus.org. They did vote for Harris. 62% voted, and Latinos as a whole, 62% voted for Harris. 37% voted for Trump, but 37% is huge.
Yes,
when you add in women's voting and white voting and things like
Aren't
that.
there more Hispanics than Black people in the U.S.?
Yes.
Yes.
Way
so
more.
that is a huge number. But we're gonna see. We'll see what happens. This is just week one. Well, week and a half one. So we'll see. My question through this whole thing is, your price of eggs go down yet? Did the price of your eggs go down yet? He said he had a semblance of a plan for the economy. Has he said anything about the economy yet?
There is no plan.
Right. So when these things don't change, remember, they're going to make excuses of why. They're going to make excuses.
They're going to blame it on Black people. They are somehow, as they always do, going to blame. Which is, I really wish someone would study that, because to me, it's not. Is it ingrained in them that somehow they think everything?
But you can say, and in countries where we didn't have a massive population, they'd always use another group. I mean, take Germany for that matter. Yeah. If you got to find a group to blame it on. With that being said, though, that's our show for tonight. We appreciate y'all coming. I know tonight was a little heavier than usual, but I feel like we do a disservice if we didn't talk to the times in which we lived. If I just came on here joking all the time, that's not fair. There's a lot of people that are hurting. Now, I know a lot of people are anxious right now. With that being said, take some time to do something that feels good to you. Whether that's going to get a facial, going to get a massage, just cut your phone off, get off the social media, and just vibe out. Take the dog for a walk and play in the park with no distractions. Something to get your mind off the anxiety that you feel, because we're not made to live in fear. We're just not. That's not our lot in life. I really don't believe that. And whether you hate this country or you love this country or wherever you find yourself on the spectrum, we honestly do get the opportunity in 4 years to try again, to do this again. And a lot of countries on this planet do not get that chance. Also, I would love for y'all to realize that, yes, we might have it bad here, but there's other countries that need prayer and need your support. Right now, the Congo is going through some crazy stuff right now. So if you have Congolese friends or whatnot, reach out to them, love on them, because it's really bad for them back home. So I just want to leave you with just a little scripture tonight. Instead of a joke, because I usually joke or something, but just scripture. So I want to leave you with John 14, verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. And if you keep that right there, there's really nothing in this world that can bother you. Don't be troubled about anything. Whether who's sitting in the White House, we know who sits on the throne. So with that being said, enjoy your rest of your week. Do something good for yourself this weekend. And we love you. Peace.